from the campus of Bowling Green State University.
Thanks for joining us this week on BG24 News. I'm Autumn Stevens. The celebration of Veterans Day this week helped us recall what so many have done for our country. Bowling Green State University has a great reputation with veterans. Reporter Mariah Clausen explains how that reputation was earned.
Times ranked BGSU a top college for veterans. The ranking evaluated academics, student support, and financial aid. The William and Joan Downing Veterans Center supports BGSU veterans. The center has places for veterans to gather and study. Barbara Henry says BGSU puts an effort to help veteran students.
I am so proud. I'm proud of BGSU. I'm proud of the community that we have built here. I'm proud of our students and our faculty and staff who support these students every single day.
BGSU has over 600 military students. Those include veterans, reserves, and active duty. BGSU has an ROTC program. This program teaches students military skills and career training. An ROTC graduate is awarded officer status in the reserves. Many students participating in ROTC will go on to active duty. Cadet Corporal Raylan Cleveland is ready for his future.
Just knowing that I'll be an officer, it's just, that blows my mind. It gives me something to work hard for, and knowing that BG has my back with this center, it just amazes me every day.
BGSU celebrates veterans all year round, not just on Veterans Day.
The number of U.S. citizens got larger this week. 48 people took the oath of citizenship on BGSU's campus. People from 26 nations took part in the naturalization ceremony. The Bowen-Thompson Student Union hosted the district court session preceded by alum judge James Knepp. He and other local dignitaries talked about the duties of being an American citizen. After the speeches, Judge Rieger gave the naturalization oath of allegiance. Student President Hannah Cumberly says the ceremony was an eye-opening experience as an American.
I think it was really interesting listening to what all the speakers were saying, and just that message of that patriotism feel about what it means to really be a United States citizen. I think being born in this country, we kind of have this idea, notion of what it means to be an American citizen, but it's not until you're recognizing that these people had to go through a process and what that looks like for them that you really truly realize what it means.
After the ceremony, children welcomed the new citizens by handing them flowers. Now, Bowling Green State University has some work to do. The Ohio Traffic Safety Office gave the university a grant of $50,000. The grant is to help fund the program Safe Communities of Wood County. Reporter Dominic Ferrante breaks down the plans to spend the money.
This year that the university has received this grant. Some of the programs the money has funded are ones that most of us are familiar with. Safe Communities Director Sandy Weekman talks about a few of the topics that the organization focuses on to keep drivers safe.
We do 4 main traffic messages. We do the click it or ticket, to wear your seatbelt message, the drive sober, get pulled over message, which is do drive impaired, watch out for motorcycles, and also the distracted driving message, where we talk about complete distracted driving.
Some of the money will be used to investigate crashes.
We will tear apart every fatal crash and then look at it and see how we can improve upon it, what we can learn from it.
The information that is learned then is used to educate the public.
Always wear your seatbelt. Don't drive an unsafe speed. Drive, speed for conditions and things like that.
Other money from this year's grant will go towards upgrading equipment. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Dominic Ferrante.
The Stroh Center hosted a unique competition for some very talented high school students. And as reporter Travis Sherman explains, this was not a typical competition.
Area schools participated in the annual Falcon Best Robotics Competition. The event took place at the Stroh Center right here on the campus of BGSU.
The name of the event is called the Current Event, and the task is to design a robot that can clear the oceans from the plastic debris and also save the life of the marine life.
Students went head-to-head in competition with robots that they built and coded themselves.
What it does for the students in the high school is teach them how to work as a team, teach them how to work on engineering problems and solve them, present their ideas and also get sponsors.
This event has been going on for the past 6 years at BGSU. Winners of this event move on to the North Plain Championship, which takes place at the University of Pittsburgh. Reporting for
Now we go over to sports with Leo Goldman. Leo?
Thanks, Autumn. The Bowling Green Falcons continue their dominance on the ice. The team takes on Lake Superior State this weekend, and here to talk more about it, Chase Bachman and the voice of Falcon Hockey, Ryan Vallon. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, Leo. Here with Ryan Vallon talking about the Falcons ice hockey team. They just had that terrific season, or series that is, over in Alaska against Anchorage. And tell us about that series, Ryan. How did that go for the Falcons? What did you see from them?
Well, the Falcons came into the weekend not scoring a goal on the power play, and that continued in the first game. The good thing is that they did shut out the Anchorage Seawolves on that first game. The bad thing is that they didn't score a goal in regulation. It ended up going into double overtime, and the Falcons technically won the game there, although it went down as a tie. But they did shut out the Seawolves, and then the next night they shut out the Seawolves again. 3-0 was the score there. So they came out of Alaska with 5 points, 5 out of 6, which isn't bad when you fly over 2,600 miles to get there. And it was really good for the Falcons to keep on rising in the WCHA standings.
This Falcons team is playing at a really high level. Obviously, you and I have both seen that. Is there any chance that this team can take it up even another level to another notch where they can play even better?
Oh, I think there is. I think there's definitely a possibility where the Falcons can go up to another level. They may even be able to go up to a couple of other levels. I'd say get back to the level that they were to begin this season. When you go and you sweep a ranked team like Western Michigan, and you sweep a ranked team, or almost sweep a ranked team like they did with Ohio State. And that was just great to see. I think they need to get back up to their level. Their special teams are kind of lacking a little bit, but I still think they can get back up there.
One of the things you and I talked about, how many scorers they have. Is there any individual that you think stands out on this team, whether it's Max Johnson, whether it's Lucas Craggs? Is there anyone that stands out to you?
There are a lot of people that stand out to us. The only thing is that it's a lot of scoring by committee for Bowling Green. You take a look at a lot of the sophomores that they have. Sam Craggs, Max Johnson, Connor Ford, Brandon Cruz, just to name a few. Those are really the guys that stand out for me.
And how do you think that they do in this series against Lake Superior State? Obviously, it's going to be a good series. How do you think the Falcons fare?
I think the Falcons might be able to come out on top, and hopefully they go out and sweep.
All right, there you go, Leo.
Thanks, Chase. Thanks, Ryan. Let's move over to hardwood now. In basketball, the men's team is back home to face North Carolina Central. The men last played in Virginia Monday, where they lost to VCU. The team on Monday night fell 72-61. Not a bad outing for them at all. The Falcons hope to get back in the win column tonight with a victory over the Eagles. Tip-off is slated for 7 p.m. at the Stro. You can catch the game on ESPN3 or on the Bowling Green Radio Sports Network. And meanwhile, in volleyball, the volleyball team is preparing for the MAC tournament. Congratulations to them. Falcons are the #1 seed right now, and that means they won't have any action until Saturday. And that's all for me. Autumn, love to hand it back to you.
Thanks, Leo. When we come back, we will take a look into the Glassblowing Studio.
Traveling across Ohio and across the region, finding new places and meeting new people with interesting stories to share with you. Come along for Aaron is Everywhere.
A purchase in Ashland, Ohio turned into a strange and spooky discovery. Aaron Kelly has the unusual details.
After more than 100 years, Sugar Grove Farm became Sugar Grove Christmas Tree Farm. But this past spring, Blake Raffeld sold his Christmas tree business.
I still have difficulties at times being there and realizing that somebody else is looking after the place. And I'll come home to Chris and say, I'm not sure that this was the right thing to do. But then I think about it and I say, yes, it was the right thing to do.
40 years later, Blake says his body was telling him it was time to leave the trees in someone else's hands.
When Blake sold his Christmas tree farm back in April, he had no idea he was selling it to a couple who had history here even before his time.
The cemetery is a final resting place of a local Mennonite community. It also includes Blake's ancestors.
That was his 6 times great grandfather and is actually buried in the cemetery right behind the barn. along with just one row back, my wife's grandparent.
So they didn't only buy a moneymaker, they also bought some family heritage.
For BG24, I'm Erin Kelly.
Now we go to Kendall Lindenkugel for a look at the weather. Kendall?
Thanks, Autumn. The chilly pattern we've been in for the past couple weeks continues this next week with more snow in the forecast. Tonight, right now, we're actually at about 33 degrees right now. We've had a lot of snow today. We actually are under a winter weather advisory, and that is set to expire at about 7 o'clock tonight. The winds are rather calm. We have an easterly wind of about 5 miles an hour, and that is going to continue as we head into the night tonight. Tonight we have a low of 28 degrees. The snow is going to pick up just a little bit, but that's going to end once we get around 9 o'clock or so. But the winds will also pick up as well to about 14, but they are going to remain easterly. If we take a look at the rest of the week, Friday we have a high of 36 degrees. It's going to be just mostly cloudy. It is going to be a little bit breezy, but that will die down as we head into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday we have a little bit of a chance to see some flurries or so. The temperatures are going to linger right around freezing or just above, so the chance for snow is still up in the air a little bit. Monday and Tuesday are going to start another dry period for us. It's also going to warm up a little bit as we head into the rest of Thanksgiving break. Monday and Tuesday we have highs of 34 and 35, and as we get towards the end of the week it will start to get up towards the 40s. That's it for weather this week. Back to you, Autumn.
Thank you, Kendall. BGSU is one of Ohio's largest art schools. Reporter Mariah Clausen tells us students can express themselves through glass.
BGSU was one of the first university glass programs. The Glass Studio has state-of-the-art facilities. These facilities allow students to work with hot or cold glass. The studio has furnaces, kilns, and other glasswork equipment. Allie Hogue says students push themselves in the studio.
It's that moment of recognition when you know that a student has taken like the hard time and pushed through all of like the problem solving, all the times that the glass might fall on the ground or break, and they persevered and they have this moment of success.
Many glass students have gone on to open their own glass studio and even have their work showcased in the Toledo Museum of Art. Students can create anything out of glass. Student artwork is displayed in Fine Arts Center galleries. Keegan O'Brien says the art department is helpful outside the studio.
Just the whole School of Art in general, like outside of the glass studio, the faculty, everybody's like real supportive, and there's like a good community of like art students here that all support and want to help each other as much as they can.
Any student can create in the glass studio. Those wanting to do professional work can earn degrees in glass studies.
Thanks for joining us for this week's BG24 News. For today's stories and more, follow us on social media and make sure to visit bgfalconmedia.com for all of your campus and community news.